All right, welcome back. This is part 2.
Are you doing? You should do your NPR voice.
My NPR?
Yeah.
Who's that?
Oh, fuck you. You don't know what NPR is?
No?
National Public Radio?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said NPR. Like M, like
Oh, no,
for
NPR.
mom.
NPR. Yeah, like... And welcome back to our show. I'm going to make you fall asleep as quickly as possible. I know many of you drive while listening to this publication. I hope you crash and burn in hell. Like that. Like,
my goal is to kill as many of you as possible.
it is so horrible. Like, I hate NPR. Like, I want to like it because I'm a liberal. Right. I'm like, fucking hell, people.
On this part 2 of 2, on episode 31, I believe, we're going to be talking about the Syrian refugees.
Yeah.
32. 32? She knows it better than I do. All right.
Because I listen.
And me, I was guessing. I'm like...
All right. First of all, travel ban. We talked a little bit off air before part 1 about the travel ban and about Trump's policies, what we think of them. I want to get your take, first of all, Stephen.
Do I have to go first? Can somebody else go first?
No.
Oh, great.
You have to go first.
Okay. I don't like it.
'Cause I'm oh, okay.
How about you go first?
Okay.
You go first,
All
and
right, I
I'll
will.
counter the opinion.
Here's the thing. I've kind of always said from the get-go that the one thing that I halfway stand behind Trump for is tighter
His
immigration.
devilish looks and his
You know it. I just love that
in your
orange
face
skin.
charisma.
It just reeks of jaundice. I love it.
That's yellow.
I know. But, anyway.
He's got cutie disease.
He does.
Nice little oranges.
Wow, that was bad. Right now is not a good time, in my opinion, for immigration. Because though such a small percentage of Muslims are terrorists, and I don't know how many times I've reiterated this on air, but I do it every time just so no one thinks I'm an Islamophobe.
You are.
I'm not. It's hard to tell right now, and so there's only... I don't want this to be a permanent thing. I think the wall is fucking stupid for financially and just the idea behind it. I think I'm not entirely sold on the travel ban. I think that if we were going to have tighter immigration laws, it should be more... what's that term?
Genocide on the Muslims? Was that the
right,
word you were
yeah,
looking
exactly.
for?
No, tighter background checks. It's like VAC or something. But I think there should be tighter that. Immunization is a big thing. So I'm not saying don't let anybody in. I just think it should be damn near a pain in the ass to get in right now. Because we've got so much shit going on in the Middle East. It's a little worrisome. I don't want to just completely open us up for attack, though I think that that's a very small chance. And most of the terrorist attacks, if not all of them, have been
Christian Americans.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm not entirely against immigration, just I am kind of against the way he's going about it.
What is your opinion on people that are here illegally?
She's asking the questions now.
She's taking over.
Yeah.
It's
Sorry.
my show.
What's your opinion on people that are here illegally and have tried to get their citizenship but can't, and therefore are getting taken out of the country even though they haven't been back in their home country since they were like 4 or 5?
I think it's ridiculous.
Okay, so what's your
Because-
thought? How do we fix it?
We don't get rid of them.
Okay, but
We
like,
need them.
how if you want to make it so hard to get citizenship, you're gonna have to make it easier for the people that are already here, though.
That's a fair point. I think the biggest problem, because mainly immigrants come from either the Middle East or Mexico. The ones that are here illegally,
You are wrong, good sir.
lay it
It's
on me.
not Mexico. It's Central and Southern America. Like,
Gotta
actually...
come through Mexico.
Right, actually, Mexico is our biggest and greatest filter and wall.
What do you mean? Like they stop at Mexico?
They have to basically be able to get through Mexico.
Okay.
And they stop a lot of them. Way before we do.
Why?
Because they don't want them in their country. Most of them
Really?
are like El Salvador.
Oh.
See, this is
I
stuff
wouldn't
people...
either.
Yeah,
don't-
Puerto
people-
Rican,
I wouldn't
El
either.
Salvador, Brazil.
Yeah. Those are the ones that are actually coming over here for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just saying, like...
It's a good point. I would say still crack down on future immigration. As for the ones that are here, they made it here. I think the biggest problem, though, is financially it's difficult. Like, they can't afford it. When they're coming from, quote-unquote, Mexico, they're coming through Mexico, let me say that. They can't afford it because, what is it, our dollar goes farther than theirs?
A lot more, yeah.
I couldn't remember if that was backwards or not.
You think you think the peso would be
Well,
stronger than the dollar?
I couldn't remember like the terminology. Couldn't remember if it. Anyway, never mind. Forget that.
Do you know how our dollar competes in Canada?
No.
77 cents.
Really?
Yeah.
It's almost the same.
Yeah.
So our dollar still goes farther?
Yeah, yeah.
That surprises me.
Yeah, it actually surprised me as well.
Economy.
Well, and because everything's so expensive in Canada. I was like, how the hell do they afford it? But then they make so much more money than we do.
I was thinking about this actually just last night. If it's expensive in a country, does that mean they have a good or a bad economy?
They have a good economy, for the most part.
Then why the hell do we have such a shitty economy but everything's expensive over here?
Because we have such a rift in who's rich, who, you know what I mean? Like, who has the money to buy stuff.
Well, would you
and
consider...
who needs stuff. Like, just a slight... my wife bought a new phone yesterday, and all sorts of other garbage. But she bought the LG V20 or something. I don't know.
I don't even know what the hell that is.
It's like 128 gig phone. Gives you a blowjob. Does all sorts of stuff. But dude, the phone was $850.
Jesus.
Yeah. Literally, there was a 4K TV. It was like 52 inches, and it was $650. But there's more people running around with $700-800 phones than there is. Like,
I'm pretty happy with my welfare phone.
it's like so insane. I mean, like, what type of phone do you have?
I have an iPhone 5 that's like 4 years old.
All right, well, you're smart.
Yeah.
But most people have really expensive phones.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's ridiculous. Like how certain things. It's just weird. That's all. I have no point to make behind this. It's just when you're talking about like spending and whatever. Like I guess it's just what people will pay for. You know.
Yeah.
Like I don't need to eat. I need to get on Twitter. You know.
Everybody wants it. Everybody has it.
Yeah, and it's like a status thing with us.
Yeah.
One of our friends was talking about like having Michael Kors shoes and whatever, and it's like, who gives a shit? You know, I mean, who's looking at
But you have some Michael Kors shit.
I do, but it was like $3.
Makes me question its authenticity.
It may not be. I don't know. It's super soft. That's what I'm saying.
I believe
The
it.
girliest pants I've ever worn. They're great.
Really?
Yeah, nice lounging pants. They're really long, so I can kind of like like super stretchy. Like
Nice.
but they fit.
So I could fit in them
Pretty sure
with
they're-
you?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No problem.
Very nice.
But then they're great. They're fantastic. But I'm pretty sure they're girl pants. They have to be.
Do they have like a back door thing?
No.
Really?
No, but they have this little pocket right on the thigh.
Definitely
and it's just
girl.
this little pocket.
No
I
guy
don't know
ever
what
has
it's
that
for.
shit. That maybe it's for like carrying your weed around.
I thought it was for your phone, maybe.
That's a little small to be for a phone.
It'll fit a phone because remember, it's
Oh, it
super
will?
stretchy.
Oh yeah, it's true.
I don't know.
Huh.
Anyway, not the point. What you were saying though, as far as
Weird.
Can I
immigration.
make a point real fast on... Do we think America's economy is so bad just because we're in it? Because there's other countries' economies that are way worse than us. And then there's some that are better.
There's a
but
lot that's better.
Yeah,
We're actually about in the middle.
Middle.
I think we're like 27. I think.
I'd believe that. That's still not great.
Yeah.
That's
I
pretty
mean,
bad.
But I think that's what.
But I
makes-
mean, if you're also comparing it to like Ethiopia, then yeah, of course we're gonna look good.
Right. And I mean, but you don't do like if you have a favorite team, you don't compare them to the Browns. You're like, no, we can be the Patriots at some point.
Right.
You know, like I think that's what makes America great and does make America so good is that the protests and the art, the like we can be better, we need to be better. You know, like Ethiopia or Aleppo, they're just like
Right.
we're still in it.
And
There's a new season
on the
starting
flip
soon.
side of that, I think that's what keeps America shitty, is the protest. Because on the other side of the protest, you have the people who don't want us protesting.
Right.
So
The people not protesting or not
right,
fighting
those are the
for-
people who are keeping us in place.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Complacent.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Complacency.
that's what's keeping America at number 27, and we
The-
could be.
But as far as immigration goes,
Yeah.
one of you was making a point. I don't remember which one.
Me. I don't remember what I was saying.
Oh, something about the dollar.
Yeah, I think you brought up the Canadian
Yeah.
dollar. I don't remember what I was saying
supposed to
before
be
that.
just a quick
You're
little
saying how
fact.
it's expensive for people that are already here to get their citizenship.
Right.
And, like, I don't know where you were going with
I
it,
don't
though.
remember either, to be totally
I think
honest.
you were kind of already got your point across.
Oh, okay.
How it's expensive, but...
I don't even remember.
Let me maybe bring up something on the other side.
Okay.
Do you know why most immigrants are coming from Central America?
Mm-mm.
Because they're basically given a choice when they hit about 8. And that is either you become a drug runner for the huge cartels, or you die, or you run away.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why they come up here, because they don't want to be a drug runner. Like they actually want to get away from like bringing like hardcore narcotics into our country. And so they're like, well, I'm doing these guys a solid. I'm going to go up here. They should be cool with me. And we're like, fuck you. Get the hell out of here. Go back there and bring drugs back in. Basically. I mean, that's kind of what we're doing. And by the way, those huge cartels wouldn't exist if we didn't dump we had a whole bunch of basically we over the last, I don't know, 20, 30 years, we had incarcerated a shit ton of drug dealers along the border, and then we kept them in a prison, and then I don't remember who it was. I think it might have been Bush, but I'm not sure. I might be wrong. It could have been Clinton, to be honest. It was a while ago. They were like, fuck them. We're paying for them to be here. Get them the fuck out of here. So we just dropped them all off in like one area in El Salvador. And they're like,
so it's like Australia.
Yes.
It was a prison.
Yes, except for we didn't leave them on an island.
Right.
And they already had the tools to be just a giant drug network. El Chapo came from that, and yeah.
It's my boy.
Is our problem. Is really what caused this. And, yeah, like, so to tell somebody who, and again, a lot of these people are their mothers or their kids, and to say, like, no, you can't come in here. I want you to either get killed by, cartels, or I want you to get in the drug world. That's pretty much what we're saying to them. Like, that's fucked up. They can't be, like, that can't be our option. That can't be the things that we should do. Not as America, not, like, because we're supposed to be better than that.
Right.
And on the other hand, Syria, which I'll be honest, I didn't know much about it. And I felt kind of dumb for not knowing. I mean, because Aleppo and all that has been such a huge, controversy for a few years now, basically. And I'm like, I don't even know really, like, what, like, why are there Syrian refugees? Does anyone, you guys got
Their
anything?
civil war was going on, like, over the past, I don't remember when it started, but, I mean, that's just caused tons of casualties there, and people want to get away from it, so...
Well, do you know what the Civil War was about?
Not exactly. I mean, it was something to do with their leader, but I don't know.
You're correct. Assad was
right.
You guys familiar with 1984, the book, George Orwell?
Yeah.
It talks about this, like, dystopia of everybody smiles and we're all pro-country. Basically, like, look at, like, modern Russia. It's kind of a lot like that. Like, everyone's happy on the outside and everything's
right.
good. But, like, you say one word against your leader and you're fucked.
Right.
I saw, actually, the newest episode of Vice. The new season started Friday night. It's really good.
Cool.
I think it's on YouTube for anyone that wants to see it. It's really good. Anyway, this is what got me into the whole Syrian thing, is they went over to Syria, talked with Assad and his followers and stuff, and it is the creepiest, like, atmosphere I've ever seen.
Wait, they talked with Assad?
Well, his followers.
Oh, okay. I was like, how old is this episode?
Well, Assad's really young.
Is he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's the son. The dad was actually not as crazy. This is kind of like a Kim Jong-un thing.
I really thought he was older.
Well, I mean, his dad was.
Right, yeah.
This guy's
how old
actually
is this?
probably late 30s.
See, I
He's a pretty tall,
I had thought he was older.
handsome young man.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, if you saw him out at Big Daddy's, you'd probably give him a lap dance.
Oh, definitely.
You know?
I give a mean lap dance.
You do.
My hairy ass is just all up in their grill.
Making it clap, but it's kind of muffled because of the hair.
Right? And because my ass is gaping. I fart and it's just like a little...
Yeah, just some wind coming out. But anyway, it was really creepy. And, like, they talked to them, and they're like, so why are we, you know, like, what was the Civil War about? And they're like, they're ISIS members, and they're extremists, and blah, blah, blah. And I did read where some of this upheaval was because the Assad family isn't, like, super extremist. But that's, like, a really small percentage. The rest of it was just people that didn't want to fall, like, they wanted some free thought.
Yeah.
And so Assad bombed his own country. He basically did what fucking Saddam did.
Yeah.
And we had such a huge problem with it.
It was damn near a mad operation.
But yeah, so most of those people who are trying to get away from this crazy dictator are the Syrian refugees. So anyway, with like that kind of in mind or whatever, those are also the people that want to come here.
Right.
So like, I'm not disagreeing with the fact that there does need to be some vetting.
Vetting. That's what it is.
Oh.
Thank you.
Sorry. I should have said that a long time ago. And definitely vaccinations. I'm huge on the vaccination.
Right.
But knowing the other side of these refugees' story, it's kind of like, oh, fuck. I mean, I feel like kind of a tool for
well, and I was
being
gonna say,
like, fuck them.
It's not something I'm entirely... This is like one of the few things that I'm really actually kind of on the fence about.
I completely understand your...
I also see from the other point of view that not letting them in is an even quicker way to radicalize people than letting them in. Because then they'll just be... I think it's actually Jim Jeffries who made this point. It's like, well, if you don't let them in, they're going to be like, well, fuck you. I need it out of here and you won't help me. Fuck you.
We just put a bigger target on our head.
Right, yeah. So I kind of see both sides.
Here's what I was thinking, though. And it sounds a little weird and maybe not right.
Okay.
But what if we basically started more manufacturing companies and warehousing, jobs, manufacturing all sorts of shit on assembly lines or whatever. But those companies that were doing that were startup companies. They didn't have a lot of money. So what we do is we help pay for their employees with government money. Does suck a little bit, but the people are immigrants that work there, and they have to sign a contract to stay there a year. So it gives us a year to kind of figure out, like, who are these people, what are they doing, and it gives us some free help as well, because it helped our manufacturing side of things, and it gives them a job. And after that year contract, then they can sign on to that company, or it gives them more experience, it gives them some idea what it's like to be in America, and we can also get growth out of like companies, and we can actually start building shit.
You can't do it for free. They can't work for free.
No. The government would pay like half of their salary, and then the startup company or whatever would pay the other half of the salary.
Gotcha. Well, and they could probably get it as a tax deductible too.
Right. And so we're basically incentivizing these companies to like get some cheap labor that they might need. We'll pay a little bit, but we're also getting this and that out of it, and maybe we can just keep growing, getting bigger. I mean, that's my only idea.
Yeah, and
and it kind of keeps, in a creepy manner, it kind of keeps them together where we can watch them, Like, I don't want to be that guy, but...
Right, well, and I think just the biggest thing with immigration is when people have come out and said, oh, well, they're stealing our jobs. I hate that saying. Yeah, why are you shaking your head?
No, I agree with that. Like, there's still jobs to be had out there. Like, I think
my people stole those jobs a long time ago.
Whatever. The thing is, though, the jobs that they're quote-unquote stealing is not, what was it?
Not jobs that we would want or be good at.
Right, but I can't remember. There was some farming related.
Oh, in Kentucky?
Yeah.
Where
they needed like 100-some thousand help, and like only 268 of them were Americans. 150 some showed up for the first day on the job, and then like only 7 stuck around.
Yeah.
That I'm just saying, Americans are not.
And by the way, out of the 7, like 4 or 5 were black, and then
Right.
2 were Mexican, like of
Right.
Mexican descent. Like,
So I always ask people, like, well, if they're still in your jobs, let's get you up on the tin roof. How about that? If you want your job back so bad,
yeah,
when they leave, I expect to see you up on these tin roofs. I've been up on a tin roof, and it sucks. It's about 140 degrees up on that fucking tin roof. Sun beating down on you. It was the worst experience of my life.
you got dicks in your face. You're trying to
Exactly.
hammer stuff
Exactly.
down. It's
I
all
expect to see
crazy.
them up on that roof now.
Yeah,
I expect to see them out in the vineyards.
Did you see the Morgan Spurlock where he was picking fruit?
Yeah.
Oh, holy shit! Like, and he's a dude in good health,
Right.
in good shape.
It's
and
not
He just
easy.
couldn't do it.
It
looked horrible.
Right.
And those guys made like little to nothing.
And that just proves my point. Like, Americans, they don't show up when they need to. If Hillary wants to deport all of the immigrants, well, if they do, or Trump does. Sorry, not Hillary. If he does that,
Hillary
we're
just wants to
fucked.
deport her career to something better now.
Right? She wants a career.
Yeah.
She doesn't even have one now.
No.
But if he
She's ready
does
just
that,
to be
America's
grandma.
fucked.
Yeah, no, we're completely fucked. And like, fresh produce is going to cost like $5 more than it costs now.
Yeah.
Because we're going to have to pay for like a decent wage.
Right.
It's kind of, yeah, it's such a catch-22.
And I mean, I'm not saying that, like, obviously they have a shitty job, and
And we are openly exploiting them, by the way.
No,
Like,
that's what I was gonna say.
We're not for like,
That's what I was gonna say. They aren't
we
treated
really
well.
should
I
get
think
them better.
that's what I was gonna
pay.
say. Like, they should be treated better. Their pay should be on time. I don't know how many documentaries I've seen.
And
where,
maybe
like, it's been-
increased a little bit, but
Yeah.
also not too much, because then we just get machines and fuck you. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like,
Well, with your year plan you were saying, I think if people could get their citizenship within a year and they have that contract, now once that year is up, maybe if they want to go to college and try to make something.
yeah, they could do something
Yeah,
different. Yeah.
like I think they have this idea that they can still come over here, even if they're working these low-paying jobs and these jobs that nobody else wants, that they think, and it's possible that they can still make a better life than what they would have had in their home country. When
And that's
they
the
make it
problem, though, is
possible
that they
for them, though.
can't.
I
That's a
know.
misconception.
Yeah,
They
it
come over
is.
here and they can't.
That's why
But you
we
know,
make it easier for them.
right? No.
Yes, yeah,
But you know what the
you're
biggest
right.
problem
And
with
while we're making it easier, we can also be vetting them.
you know what the biggest problem with your idea is?
I'm behind it.
It's a social program.
Well, yeah.
And so
no.
we won't ever do it
I'm big on the social
because
programs.
as long as it's not benefiting the whole of America.
Well, the singularity that is the 1%.
Right, that's what I'm saying. As long as it
Yeah.
doesn't benefit America, we're good.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Sadly. But
Ridiculous.
speaking of more left-wing, right-wing topics,
Bill
the
Paxton.
oh yeah, I guess we should. Well, I want to get to this real quick.
Okay.
What's your thought on? I just remembered your name, but apparently I won't say it 'cause I don't know if you want it
I
reset.
don't really care.
What's your thought on climate change?
Here we go. This is a talk I've had.
I'm the one
dear.
finding these buttons. First I start with the abortion, now I'm on to
This is a good one.
It's what I do, I guess.
Okay.
Because don't you know Bill Nye's your favorite person?
He's a good dude.
He's
well,
a
you
great
know what?
guy.
I've never actually watched the show. I've never really done that much
I know,
research.
you didn't.
Just my people are like, oh, he's awful. So I'm like,
I know.
See, that's really kind of like naive
You're
in a
sheeple.
sense.
You're
I get it.
sheeple.
And
It's
I'm
okay.
starting to like break out from that. So
That's what's important.
Yeah.
You know,
find
to
my
look
own
into
path and whatever. But
this.
anyways,
When I met this kid, he was pretty
I was like you.
a
Naive.
lot of ways.
awesome.
And I'm like,
No, okay, no.
even now, I'll chew him out because he'll bring a story up and he's like, yeah, this happened. And I'm like, I'll Google it and look up everything. I'm like, you just got this on Facebook, didn't you? Well, yeah. I'm like, yeah, it was 2 years old and it happened in a different country. You know, I
Sounds
mean,
like something you would do.
but hey, I mean, that's,
What do you think about climate
Climate
change? Let's get
change.
off this
Okay.
topic.
I don't know. I have friends that are like, oh, it's not real, but and I think it is. I've come to that point where it is real, and I think it could be getting worse. I don't know a whole lot on it.
And don't just say this because you're the only conservative here.
yeah.
Okay.
Like, don't
No.
just say it so we don't come
No,
after you.
I was
Just
having
say
this
what you
discussion
really
with
mean.
a friend the other day about it, and like their thoughts was, oh, it's just going to cycle back around. And I'm like, is it, like, do we actually know that? Like, could it be getting worse? Like,
Well,
I don't know.
I hope it doesn't cycle around, because then we'll have another ice age.
And we've had many ice ages as well.
Right.
I think the fact that like every year it keeps getting hotter
2
than
degrees.
any other year. It's like, well, I don't think it's circling, right? Whatever. But go ahead.
I don't know. I'm kind of that opinion where I'm like, I don't really care though. So it's like my one thing that I'm just like, whatever, screw us all.
It's something you should probably care
I know.
about.
One of my things, like, my mom had actually taken a page out of my playbook when she was talking about religion. She was like, well, listen, because, I'm an atheist or a deist. I don't even know what I am, really, to be honest. But I have this thought that, like, if God's real, then he's going to be like, he's not going to be so much like a man that he's going to give a shit if I said you're my one true savior or not. Like, he's not Donald Trump. He's not, he's not arrogant about himself. So I'm like, I just think like you do good things or you're a good person, you probably get to heaven. But anyway, she's like, her thing is like, well, if you're wrong, then you're going to hell. But if you're right, then you'll be in heaven. And, your actions won't change at all. It's just your mindset. I'm like, okay, it's true. But I used to make that point with climate change. Mm-hmm. I'm like, if you're wrong, you fuck the entire world up. Mm-hmm. But if you're right, well, what's the worst way happen? We just make the world a little bit greener, one thing though, like, I think once insurance gets involved, and I don't know if you guys saw this, the insurance quotas have actually came out for climate change related activity, like, and that's huge because there's a lot of things that they won't cover. They won't cover like hail.
Yeah.
They put it under an act of God, which is weird, But for them now to be like, we need to create something that'll fall under climate change, and it's like, and it's from a global insurance company, like not from, like it's like the biggest insurance
not like
company
State
in the
Farm.
world. No, they're from Sweden or something.
Yeah.
They cover a lot of, and we're dealing with Florida right now.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys you've been to Florida recently, but you didn't go to southern Florida, did you?
Yeah.
Okay, is that true? Like, is there literally an area where like there's just water? Like, it's not raining, but there is water coming up over.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
And you're just walking through water because the waves are getting higher.
Yeah,
like, we're literally
it's
sinking.
True.
That's what they're talking about. Like, and they said like if it goes up 2 more feet, we're gonna look at $163 billion worth of damage in Florida alone.
No, it's definitely true.
And yeah, like, I don't know. I just think like that's great. Like, and there's still people, like Trump has put, what's his name? I can't remember his name now. The guy who's in charge of the EPA. Fuck me. Anyway, that guy. By the way to show how professional we are. We were doing so good. We didn't have a big fuck up until now.
Well, everybody has them.
The head of the EPA, though, is a guy that doesn't believe in climate change.
Yeah, and
And it's like, even now, after we're seeing part of our country, and it's like, what, even Bannon said the greatest thing that Trump has done is he's systematically destroying our democratic system by, Pruitt, that's the name.
I wasn't going to interrupt
by
you.
putting people like Steve Perry? No. No. Yes. Rick Perry. Steve Perry. That's the dude from that from Journey.
I thought that was Aerosmith.
That's Joe Perry.
Ah, yeah, you're right.
Joe Perry. No, Rick Perry. In part of in head of energy, and he wanted to destroy energy. Pruitt in front of EPA. He's like Bannon was like, yeah, this is the greatest thing Trump's done.
I don't get that because
brag about that. And yes, Bill Maher talked about this on Friday. I had someone say like, you cover the same shit Bill Maher does. Like, sometimes I do. He brings it up. I think it's a good point.
Yeah. Well, and I don't get why people are so opposed to listening to people like Bill Nye, Neil deGrasse Tyson, Why are you so opposed to listening to these guys? They're the smartest minds in America. Maybe the world. Honestly. And I'm sure every country has a Neil deGrasse Tyson and Bill Nye.
Now look, Monty, like, Neil deGrasse Tyson is, like, one of the few guys that could say something and dumb it down.
Yeah.
As being as smart as he is. Like, most of those guys, they can't.
Right. But these are genuinely speaking the smartest people in America. This is their job. And we won't listen to... Well, no, we do. But Trump and his cabinet won't listen to them.
Any of them.
If they say that the world is dying, I'm going to listen to them. Because they aren't a news media. They're their own people, and they're smart, and they know what they're doing. They've studied the facts.
Well, here's the thing. It's crazy.
I'll listen to them.
And you guys should check this out on your own. You should Google ExxonMobil and their research into climate change and climate disaster. When Tillerson, who he's in part of the Trump's cabinet, when he was actually working for ExxonMobil back in the 80s, some papers came out in 1988 where they basically said, we know about climate change. I remember, they didn't say climate change word for word, but it was global warming.
Right.
And it's going to be disastrous. They had the best scientists working for them.
Yep.
Because, I mean, they had a lot of money, and this is what they do. And they hid it from the American people. And for, like, there's a huge lawsuit going on over this.
Yeah.
It's just fucking crazy.
And you know, as much as I say we need to help the planet and stuff, I also acknowledge if the world goes to shit, it probably won't be in our lifetime. It's not bad enough that it'll be in our lifetime, but it's also no excuse because at some point it is going to be in someone's lifetime.
At some point, yeah.
And if I thought it was going to be in my lifetime, I'd be like, well, what the hell, previous generations?
Yeah,
Why'd you have to screw me like this?
Yeah.
So it's like, I'll probably never meet these people, but
no, it's time
if it was me, I wouldn't want to be screwed like that.
Some generation has got to finally step up and do something.
Knowing that literally if a big enough hole opened in the ozone, you'd fry like that, I would not be cool with that.
No.
Knowing that at literally any second, we could just evaporate.
And there's all this excitement because they found that new solar system.
Yeah, the 7 planets.
And they're like, oh, it's only 40 light years away. The fastest thing that we have right now can go... Okay, I'm trying to figure out the math on this. It can go a fourth of a light year in 20 years or something. That's the fastest thing we have. It's a drone, too. Like, humans couldn't survive on that kind of speed. Like, the time frame doesn't work to where we could actually go there. Like,
right.
We found it. It's cool. I like it.
There's 3 planets that we could live on.
We got 200 years before we can even find out anything about those planets.
Right.
Let alone make it there. And, like, at the end of this century, I hear, is when, if everything is right, the sea level will rise about 4 to 6 feet. Yeah, which Florida's gone by then. Parts of California
so
are
it could be in our lifetime.
At the end of the century? I don't know. Not mine.
Mine, though, like, if I'm
34.
The very, very end of
Oh,
it.
yeah, no, you're right.
You'd be like 130.
Yeah, that's true. Like, 60 years from now, I'd be 80, so I guess.
If there's not a God. I mean, if
there's a God.
If there's a God, you won't make it past, like, 40.
That's what I'm saying. 40. I've abused my liver too much for that.
I guess maybe 30. I was thinking about you abusing children too much.
I'm not ready to be yell surprised.
Why haven't we, like, if climate change is real, I mean, if anything, it's just going to help the Earth, like, be a better place to live. So, I mean...
Yeah, you're right. That sounds awful. We shouldn't do that.
No, I mean...
Are we putting laws in place, though, to do this? Like, what are these laws going to pertain? Like,
they don't get passed.
I know, but, like...
We actually had laws.
Okay.
We did. And then Trump dismantled those laws.
Yeah.
What were these laws? Like, what
You
what
could
are
only...
some,
you could, like...
examples?
You couldn't pollute... if, like, big companies couldn't have, like, runoff and whatever. Now they can.
Oh, well, that's dumb.
Into the ocean.
Yeah.
And lakes.
Because these EPA, like, their standards cost money. And since Pruitt and Trump are about them, about the companies, not the EPA, then they got away with it, and now it's even worse. Yeah, it's you would think, like, the greater good, like, let's not destroy where we're living.
You would think.
But it's weird, like... And, you know, you're, how do I put this? How old are you?
I'm 20.
20.
Yeah.
And you're getting to that, like, why aren't they doing stuff? And you'll never find that answer.
Yeah.
Like, aside from money, they're like,
Yeah.
don't they have kids? Don't they have, great grandkids? But, I don't know.
If you ever find a reason beyond money, let me know.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure, yeah, you'll be more informed than we are in 10, 15 years.
It's bigger companies. It's like the corporations and companies that are needing laws more so than like the everyday like public. That because like what would be like laws that like they would enforce on the public if we like, for instance, like cars and stuff. Like, are they going to enforce a law on that?
No,
Like,
no.
Okay, so then what's the big deal for us? Like,
No, it would just be like the
us.
people making the cars
Yeah.
shouldn't,
Oh,
they got to be
that.
below a certain
Yeah.
standard and get more gas mileage.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
That's not bad. Like, why are we doing this?
exactly. I know it's been kind of a depressing political episode.
It's been a good one, though.
But it's been good, definitely. For all of you that like us just talking about dicks and stuff, well, I'm sure we'll get back to that next episode.
For sure.
I don't know, maybe. I don't know. Part of me wants to continue being more serious because, well, fuck, some media outlet needs to just cover actual, real shit instead of clickbait and everything else.
Right.
Which I was totally gonna go talk about something about that in, but we're running out of time already. But thanks a lot, guys. We really appreciate you. Thank you, Steven. Cody, you gonna sign off for us?
Yep. We will see you back hopefully maybe in a couple days. Should work out.
Yeah.
We will see you then. Love you all. Lots.